What if I told you that you could become rich by investing just $20 a day in the stock market? Would you believe me? Or would you think it's a scam? Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not a scam. It's a reality, and I have proof. If you're finding value, please subscribe to this channel, like the video, and hit the bell icon to be part of this amazing community. A year ago, I started an experiment of investing $20 a day in a high-yielding dividend ETF called QYLD. I wanted to see if I could achieve financial freedom by investing consistently and diligently, even while working a full-time job. But what you didn't know was that I was also running another experiment at the same time. I was investing another $20 a day in different high-tech ETFs for the past 90 days. And today, I'm going to reveal the outcome of this experiment and compare it with my QYLD investment. If you want to show some appreciation, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and click the bell icon to catch all my future videos. But before I do that, let me explain what an ETF is and why you should invest in them. An ETF, or exchange-traded fund, is a collection of stocks or other assets that trade on an exchange like a stock. An ETF can track an index, a sector, a theme, or anything else. There are many benefits of investing in ETFs. First, they are diversified. You don't have to worry about picking individual stocks or timing the market. You can own hundreds of thousands of stocks with just one ETF. This reduces your risk and increases your chances of making money. Second, they are low cost. You don't have to pay high fees or commissions to buy or sell ETFs. You can also save on taxes by holding them for the long term. You can invest as little or as much as you want without breaking the bank. Third, they are easy to access. You don't need a lot of knowledge or experience to invest in ETFs. You can buy them from any online broker or platform with just a few clicks. You can also monitor their performance and adjust your portfolio anytime you want. Now that you know what an ETF is and why you should invest in them, let me introduce you to the 3 ETFs that I invested in for my experiment. The first one is VRO, an ETF that tracks the top 500 companies in America. It's a great way to invest in the overall market and capture the growth of the economy. The second one is QYLD, the high-yield dividend ETF that I've been raving about for months. QYLD is known for its covered calls strategy, which generates income by selling options on the stocks it holds. QYLD pays a monthly dividend that is higher than most other ETFs or stocks. The third one is QQQ, a tech-heavy ETF that holds around 100 different companies, mostly in the technology sector. I'm a big fan of tech stocks because they tend to be innovative and disruptive. They have huge growth potential and can create massive wealth for investors. Now that you know the 3 ETFs that I invested in, let me show you the results of my experiment. I invested $20 a day in each of these ETFs for different periods of time. VRO for 365 days, QYLD for 240 days, and QQQ for 90 days. Here are the numbers. VRO. My current market value is $7,530. That's a profit of $1,030 or 15.8%. QYLD. My current market value is $3,817. That's a profit of $817 or 27.2%. Plus, I earned $287 in dividends, which I reinvested back into QYLD. QQQ. My current market value is $1,894. That's a profit of $394 or 26.3%. As you can see, all 3 ETFs gave me positive returns, but QYLD and QQQ outperformed VRO by a significant margin. QYLD gave me the highest return on investment, ROI, while QQQ gave me the highest return per day, RPD. If I had invested a lump sum at the beginning of the year instead of daily, I would have made even more profit with QQQ. But investing daily has its own advantages. It protects me from the fluctuations of the market and allows me to buy more shares when the price is low and less when it's high. This way, I can average out my cost and increase my chances of making money in the long run. You might be wondering how I managed to invest $20 a day in these ETFs while working a minimum wage job. Well, let me tell you a story. I was always interested in investing and making money online, but I never had enough money or time to do it properly. I was working as a cashier at a grocery store, earning $14 an hour. I had to pay for my rent, food, bills, and student loans. I barely had any money left at the end of the month. One day, I stumbled upon a video on YouTube that changed my life. It was by a guy named Dave Ramsey, who is a famous financial guru and author. He was talking about how anyone can become rich by following his simple steps. His first step was to save $1,000 as an emergency fund. The second step was to pay off all our debts, starting from the smallest to the largest. The third step was to save 3 to 6 months of expenses as a fully funded emergency fund. The fourth step was to invest 15% of your income into retirement accounts. The fifth step was to save for your children's college education. The sixth step was to pay off your home early, and the seventh step was to build wealth and give generously. I was blown away by his advice and decided to follow it. I started by saving $1,000 as an emergency fund. It took me about 2 months to do it by cutting down on my expenses and working extra hours. I felt a sense of accomplishment and security when I reached that goal. Then I moved on to the second step, which was to pay off all my debts. I had about $10,000 in student loans and $5,000 in credit card debt. I used the debt snowball method, which means paying off the smallest debt first and then moving on to the next one. I also used the money I saved from my emergency fund to pay off some of the debts faster. It took me about 1.5 years to pay off all my debts. I was so happy and relieved when I did it. I felt like a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders. I also noticed that my credit score improved and I had more money in my bank account. Then I moved on to the third step, which was to save 3 to 6 months of expenses as a fully funded emergency fund. This was to protect me from any unexpected events or emergencies that might happen in the future. I calculated that I needed about $9,000 to cover 6 months of my expenses. It took me another 6 months to save that amount. I continued to live below my means as much as I could. I also got a raise at my job, which helped me boost my income. I felt more confident and secure when I reached that goal. Then I moved on to the fourth step, which was to invest 15% of my income into retirement accounts. This was to prepare for my future and grow my wealth over time. I opened a Roth IRA account with an online broker and started investing in VRO, the ETF that tracks the top 500 companies in America. I chose VRO because it was simple and diversified. It also had low fees and good returns. I decided to invest $20 a day in VRO, which was about 15% of my income at that time. That's when I discovered QYLD, the high-yield dividend ETF that pays monthly dividends. I was intrigued by its strategy and performance. I decided to start another experiment of investing $20 a day in QYLD in addition to VRO. I also learned about QQQ, the tech-heavy ETF that holds some of the most innovative and disruptive companies in the world. I was fascinated by its growth potential and volatility. I decided to start another experiment of investing $20 a day in QQQ in addition to VRO and QYLD. And that's how I started investing $20 a day in these 3 ETFs for different periods of time. VRO for 365 days, QYLD for 240 days, and QQQ for 90 days. And if you're still with me, you are amazing. Thank you so much for your time and attention. If you want to show some appreciation, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and click the bell icon to catch all my future videos.